First on our audio tour is one of Vincent Price's childhood homes. Vincent's first house was on Washington Boulevard, but he moved here when he was just 12 years old. Next is the National Candy Company, built by Vincent's father in 1928. The building is significant for its Art Deco flourishes. Over the years, Forest Park's Muni Theater boasted a number of Vincent Price's performances, including Damn Yankees and Oliver.
And that glorious morn, Jack the Ripper was born. Those were the good old days.
Here at the fabulous Fox Theater on Grand Boulevard, Mr. Price's first film, Universal Pictures' Service Deluxe, premiered in 1938. The film co-starred Constance Bennett. We hope you've enjoyed this audio tour of Vincent Price's St. Louis.
As I understand it, Masquerade was actually one of the first films that you wanted to make in the Poe series, but you felt that it was a bit too similar to Ingmar Bergman's The Seventh Seal. So you were obviously exposed to foreign films. You were being influenced by them, and being careful of not looking too influenced by them.
Yes, I was being influenced by them, but I was trying to make American films. And what happened, the House of Usher really set up AIP. It was the biggest grossing film they ever had. Then they said, let's have another one, and I was perfectly willing to make one. And my choice really was Masquerade Death, but I had recently seen The Seventh Seal, and I thought there were some similarities. And so I chose to pick the pendulum again. But I finally went back to Masquerade Death when I had sort of essentially gone through the whole series, and enough time had gone by, and also there weren't that many more Poe short stories that I could take.
Now, Mask is your personal favorite of the series.
Yes.
The one that we're going to see this evening, Tomb of Lygia, is my personal favorite. I think it has one of the greatest scripts in the genre, and I think it's probably one of the 10 greatest horror films of all time. Now, Robert Towne wrote this script, and he complained in an interview once that he loved what he did in the script. He felt that Vincent was a little too old for the part. Did you agree?
Yes, I did. I wasn't, again, I was trying to vary. Maybe it was the last of the Poe films I made, and my number one concern was, how do I make this picture different? Because there is a certain similarity. And I did two things. One, I put a little less emphasis on the horror. It isn't quite as much a horror film as some of the others. And I made it became a little bit of a love story, a little bit of a romance. And I felt really that Vincent was a little bit old, and I was thinking maybe of going back to Ray Milland, who was a little younger and more of a traditional romantic leading man. But AIP had Vincent under contract. They wanted Vincent, and I had no objection, although I thought he was a little bit old. But we made a great attempt with makeup and one thing, and I used a little diffusion on the lens to soften the look, to make him look a little younger.
Actually, I think it works because he does have a history. He does have a previous relationship that casts a dark shadow over his present one. So I think it works, and I think that Vincent is superb in the role. This was your last collaboration with him. Did you feel like your partnership ran its course?
No, I wasn't certain. I felt we might work again. What I did feel was that this was going to be the last of the Poe films. This was the other thing that differed, that made Tomb of Lygia different from the others. I was working on certain theories, and one of them that was that Poe was working with the unconscious mind, and the unconscious mind does not have direct contact with the reality. It's dependent upon the information it gets from the eyes, the ears, the nose, and so forth. And I wanted the artificiality of the studio, and I wanted to stay away from sunlight. I used a lot of fog, I shot at night and so forth. And frankly, I got so bored with my own theory that on Tomb of Lygia, I deliberately, and I talked to Bob about this, I said, we're going out into the English countryside, we're going away for at least a portion of the picture into natural interiors, and we're going to use sunlight, which is the only time I ever used it. Because my own theories were that sunlight was wrong, but I just felt I had to change it.
Well, after you made this film, interesting things happened with Vincent Price and the Poe pictures. Vincent Price made a movie called Witchfinder General, released in the States as The Conqueror Worm, directed by a young director named Michael Reeves. And when you saw this film, and I understand that you were very impressed with Michael Reeves as a filmmaker, did you see things in Vincent that you didn't realize he could do, and did it really make you want to work with him again and push him in new directions?
I was impressed with what Vincent was doing. Michael Reeves, from what Vincent told me and from other people told me, fought with Vincent all the way through the picture to bring out different dimensions. And I think it ultimately did work. Vincent and I had gotten along so well together. We didn't work that way. Michael Reeves was a very bright, very talented young director who would have, I believe he committed suicide.
It was a miscalculation of alcohol and barbiturates.
I should have smiled.
That's actually, I think it's an antidepressant medication that he was taking. He just went out and partied a little too much.
That is probably correct. It's just what I've heard. Rumors get around, but he died young. I think he's a very talented director and would have had a great career.
And the other thing I was interested in asking you about was a film that had released called Spirits of the Dead, which had Poe stories adapted by Louis Malle and Roger Vadim and Federico Fellini. I think Fellini's episode is astonishing, and I just wanted to know what you thought of those films.
Actually, I never saw that film. I wish I had, because I heard it was